We're here in Saint-Georges-de-Beauce, conclusion of the final stage of the 2011 Tour de Beauce, talking with Svein Tuft from SpiderTech, who has just won his second stage of the Tour, the final stage, and moved into third overall in GC. Big day, Svein.
Yeah, that's probably, I think, the hardest I've ever ridden that stage. It's always a hard one. I think they added on some extra turns and sections to the course that made it even more like a crit. So, yeah, it was a tough day out there.
Now, I mean, obviously you guys said you were going to make it difficult, see if you could take some time back, and there was a break of four of you that got away, and at one point you were only 8 seconds out of the yellow jersey because one of the other guys in the break would move in the yellow jersey. Did you think he was going to stay away?
Well, that's the risk you got to take on a day like today. You can't really think so much about conserving anything. It's because the way we look at it, it's the trying to smash the race apart or nothing, and that's just the attitude we came in with. And we knew right from the gun it had to be hard, and we had to isolate Mancebo and anyone else who had any kind of teammates left. And so that just meant from lap one we were hitting everyone with everything we had, and just so happened I was away with Howes, and we had Bernie Salzberger in there working really well with us, and Alex was drilling. We were all committed, and there's a certain point where it was like 150 and minute 50 gap, and you just don't know. Like, we're here and there's only one guy left riding for Mancebo. You don't know what's going to happen, and you just got to keep drilling it and hope that maybe that it just kind of snaps apart. And it didn't. I mean, my hat's off to those guys. Rabu and the whole team rode really strong, and they caught us, I think, with 3 laps to go at the top there. And I had Pat there, and he immediately attacked and forced them again to have to ride, and that was key. I could recover and make it over the climb the last time, and then I just thought about how can I try and win the race at that point, because obviously we weren't going to really blow the GC apart at that point with only a few guys left and a lot of spent bullets out on the road.
Yeah, now tell us about what happened. I mean, where did you attack? Because you seemed to get a gap pretty quick. I went up to like almost 20 seconds pretty quick. So you looked like you had the stage. Were you thinking in terms of being able to make that jump onto the top 3?
Not at that point. That wasn't my big concern. My big concern was to win the stage, and take what we could out of that, out of that hard work that we expended earlier on, and so in my head, I thought, yeah, that could possibly be the case, but more I was committed to winning the stage, and I just had a bit of luck and some good timing when I hit them at the top part of the course right before you hit the descent, and I'm a bigger guy, so I can use that on the downhills. It's harder for me on the uphills, but the downhills work okay for me, so I was able to get that gap pretty good, and from that point it's just headwind all the way into the finish straight, and you can get a good suffer on there. So yeah, it ended up panning out. It's a good day.
Now, I mean, you've won the overall. We were trying to figure out, this is either your 4th or your 5th stage win. How does this stage win rank with some of the other results you had here at Beauce?
I'd have to say I'm pretty proud of this one because I rode with the intention of just flogging myself today, and sometimes you just don't know what you're going to get on a day like that. You could have good legs or bad legs, but I had really good legs, and I was able to just keep going and suffering and making each move, and when you ride with that mentality, it's kind of cool. Like, it's a satisfying feeling at the end of the day if you can pull it off as well. So it's a pretty good day for me.
So overall for SpiderTech here at Beauce, I mean, you had 3rd overall, you got best team, you had 2 stage wins, David Boily had a 3rd, 2nd, 3rd, and so I mean overall, you didn't win the overall, which you obviously wanted to do, but how do you feel overall about the race for the team?
I think, yeah, I mean, we came in with the intention of winning the overall, but what we came out with was not so bad. A couple stage wins, and we were active in every day, forcing the race, and I'm really proud of the guys. The whole team rode unbelievably well. I mean, everyone was just firing on all cylinders, and I think that was probably the most satisfying, to be just part of a group like that, and it's just, it just bodes well for our upcoming races. Everyone's just syncing really well together, and we just keep gaining that momentum.
Yeah, you've got nationals next week, so obviously you're going to be a favorite for the time trial, but then we've got the road race, that big climb on Rattlesnake.
Yeah, I've heard about this climb. It sounds pretty hefty. I don't know. You never know until you see, but nationals is always an interesting race. Some interesting dynamics.
Well, again, congratulations.
Thanks a lot.